I thought it wasn't for me, and I had wanted a different route. Doesn't mean I'm right or they're wrong, but it certainly was a difference.
Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 stars who quit at the worst time.
This is going to be my very, very last series of Blind Date.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're focusing on TV stars whose careers or the shows themselves went downhill after their departures. Let us know in the comments if you think any of these stars should return. Number 10, Jessica Brown Findlay.
You are upsetting these people for no reason at all.
I am not. I think she may be toxemic with the danger of eclampsia, in which case we must act fast.
The youngest of the Crawley sisters on Downton Abbey, Sybil was the one who consistently kept Edith and Mary from killing each other. Though Downton since earned a reputation for killing off its leads, Sybil was the first, all because star Jessica Brown Findlay wanted to leave.
She's so beautiful. Oh, my darling. I do love you so much.
She was reportedly afraid of being typecast and wanted to take on more interesting roles, which she was certainly successful at. However, in a lot of ways, Downton never really recovered from the death of Sybil, and her absence was strongly felt for the remaining 3 series. This is a case of an actor quitting being bad for the show, and not for them.
What's happening? Oh, God. Oh, God!
What's happening?
God, no! What the hell is happening?
Number 9, Jamie Ling. Made in Chelsea's Jamie Ling was all set to appear on the 2019 series of Strictly. However, we never got to see him dance at all.
You could never know what it's like.
He actually had to pull out before the launch episode was filmed, after suffering an injury during the rehearsals. He later confessed that the reason he was injured so early is because he bought shoe inserts online that would make him look taller, and they caused an accident.
You know, I'm still standing better than I ever did.
Worse still, Jamie insisted that had he not been injured, he might have gone on to win the series. He came back in 2020, paired with Karen Hauer, and what do you know? He didn't win that series either, though he did reach the final.
I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing.
Number 8, Connie Booth. A staple of British comedy in the 1970s, Connie Booth was married to John Cleese for 10 years.
Oh, here's the invoice for the meat, Mr. Carnegie. It's the 6-monthly checkup. Oh, yes, the meat was delivered on Wednesday.
This meant she was a frequent Monty Python collaborator, but she also co-created Fawlty Towers, one of the greatest sitcoms ever made. However, by the time Series 2 had come out, Cleese and Booth had already divorced, which was one of the reasons Fawlty Towers never returned for a Series 3.
Polly, he take my hamster.
What?
Mr. Faulty take my hamster. He crazy. He think he's rat.
Manuel, prepare yourself for a shock.
And then, in the 90s, she quit acting entirely to become a psychotherapist. This after she'd had many successful theatre roles. Now it's been decided that Fawlty Towers is getting a reboot, but Booth definitely won't be returning.
Yes.
Oh, hello,
That's
Mr.
for me, is it? Thank you.
Number 7, Chris Barry. He made a shock departure during the 7th series of Red Dwarf, leaving the group to fend for themselves without Arnold Rimmer.
It's a museum to Mr. Rimmer's memory. I made it myself. If anyone finds they're missing him, they can relive those great moments. It's all in there.
At the time, Barry's time was split between Red Dwarf and his other sitcom, The Brit-Ass Empire, so he temporarily scaled back his role as Rimmer to focus on Brit-Ass instead.
No, it isn't, Crichton, you thick titanium plank. Those are large broken fragments of a dying star which have compressed together under enormous pressure, causing them to compress into large fragments.
He was replaced with Lister's long-term love interest, Kachansky, in a move that proved unpopular with fans.
If you're in trouble, he will save the day. He's brave and he's fearless, come what may.
Rimmer ultimately did return in Red Dwarf Series 8 and subsequent revivals, but for the original 90s run, this was a bit too late to save the show. He doesn't regret his time away from Starbug, but we can't help but wonder what it would have been like had he never left.
How come he's such a genius? Don't ask me. Arnold Rimmer, he's also a fantastic swimmer.
Number 6. Gemma Collins.
I'm Gemma and I'm in the jungle too. Find myself, lose weight, think about what's important in my life.
If she's not enjoying herself, the GC has a reputation for just giving up and going her own way. And when she signed on for I'm a Celebrity in 2014, few thought she'd last long at all. Well, those people were correct.
Ah! There's something in my hair! What is it? Please, what is it?
Gemma had the worst time of her life going on the helicopter at the beginning, and that was quite literally just the start. Ultimately, she lasted for just a few days before spectacularly quitting the jungle.
I want to go. I really want to go. I'm not going to be able to do it.
You don't know what you're capable of.
Years later though, and Gemma revealed that she'd actually been mugged just before heading down under, which was what made her time in the jungle especially difficult.
Just got to roll with it. Roll with it, like Oasis said.
But she still got a reputation as someone who can't see things through. Number 5. Lee Evans.
I mean, you're in the shop buying a packet of polos and they're asking for your boarding card. Where's the security risk with a packet of polos? You're up the cockpit of the plane, fly us to bamboo. No, okay?
He's still one of the most beloved comedians Britain has ever had, known for his extremely energetic performances, while also crossing the pond to appear in various Hollywood blockbusters. However, in 2014, when he was still in his 40s, Lee Evans announced on The Jonathan Ross Show that he was going to be retiring from stand-up comedy.
How did that bloke get the job? You know, he's in the interview, so what makes you think you can do this job? Well, it's a time.
He said he wanted to spend more time with his family, and in the years since, has very rarely made public appearances. If retiring was what Evans needed to do, then who are we to argue? But there are still plenty in the UK who wish he'd returned to stand-up. Such is his extraordinary talent for it.
Country number 9, please. I want to die, please.
Number 4. Andrew Neil.
With the recent GB News resignations, will it become a new British Fox News?
Well, who could answer that?
Prestigious journalist Andrew Neil has held many jobs for many outlets over the years, working for newspapers like The Economist and The Spectator, and even fronting his own show on the BBC. But in 2020, he decided to quit the Beeb for greener pastures, becoming a founding member of right-wing channel GB News. First, Neil took a break after barely 2 weeks of GB News existing. Not the best time to take a holiday.
This is your first appearance on anything other than GB News since you announced your resignation. Why have you quit?
Then, just 3 months on, Neil decided he was quitting entirely. He didn't like how reactionary GB News was, nor its myriad technical issues, and later described his decision to quit the BBC to run it as the worst mistake of his career.
More and more differences emerged between myself and the other senior managers and the board of GB News.
Number 3. Robert Sheehan.
No offence, but I'm thinking some people are just born criminals. Are you looking to get stabbed? You see my point there?
Nearly everybody agrees that Misfits was better in the first 2 series, before the departure of Robert Sheehan, who played Nathan. They tried to replicate Nathan's magic with Rudy, but it never really worked. Still, there were 3 more series without Nathan, and to this day, the fans miss him sorely.
What did you do?
Me? I was done for eating some pick and mix.
Bollocks.
Again, this is a case of a show suffering because of an actor's departure, as Sheehan has gone on to have a successful career, notably starring in The Umbrella Academy. Misfits definitely isn't terrible without Nathan, but the original lineup was never topped.
I'll tell you who did it. It's that Banksy prick. There's a hidden meaning. It's like that monkey policeman with a banana and a Tesco's bag.
Nathan was ultimately written out between seasons, disappearing to Vegas to use his reality-bending powers to become a magician. Number 2. Piers Morgan. He wasn't always on Good Morning Britain, but when ITV brought in one of Britain's most controversial journalists, his rants and outbursts made GMB a powerhouse of morning television.
And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme.
In March 2021, however, weatherman Alex Beresford finally got tired of Piers bad-mouthing the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, non-stop, essentially telling Piers that he ought to get over Markle not texting him back.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my
No.
See you later.
Piers proceeded to throw a tantrum and storm out of the studio, never to return. The whole thing was bizarre, and it looked like Piers couldn't give as good as he got, as getting criticised just once was enough to make him quit his own news show.
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Number 1, Cilla Black.
Hello and welcome to this very special live show.
Everybody was shocked when, in 2003, after 18 years fronting Blind Date, entertainment legend Cilla Black announced she was going to be quitting after that series.
This is going to be my very, very last series of Blind Date.
This was the first series of Blind Date to be broadcast live, following a production shake-up to try and draw in a bigger audience. Ratings had been flagging for years, and this was supposed to be a way to get things back on track.
Yes, but we've got to make it the biggest and the bettest yet. We're going to do that, aren't we?
Unhappy though, Cilla decided enough was enough and said that the 2003 series of Blind Date would be her last. Not only was the public shocked, but so were the crew, who hadn't been informed about Cilla's departure.
But even though this is my last series, yes, isn't it a shame? I've had great fun for 18 years.
Nobody could ever really replace her, so the show ended.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojoUK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.